Hello, once again, this is Antonio, and I'm coming at you with another exciting video. Now, I want to know one thing. Do you believe that America is headed towards a civil war? And let me ask this. In my line of work, I have been speaking to many people that's not from this country. And one thing that I have noticed that a lot of people don't have allegiance to America. And my question is, America opened up its doors to so many people, but the allegiance just not there. I spoke to with one gentleman, and he said, "Well, back in my country, um, yada yada yada, right?" So I asked him, "Okay, so back in your country," I say, "So when did you come to America?" "Oh no, I was born in America." So I say, "You only can have allegiance to one place, but it just seems like your allegiance is not here, right?" And the reason why I'm speaking about this is you have so many people that's come from failed countries, and they are so desperate that they're breaking in the country. But the question is, if you go to their country, you're going to be mistreated. You will be jailed for a certain amount of time and things of those magnitude. But here in America, they get to do whatever they want because we have a failed government over here. We have an open door policy going on right now. Joe Biden has been so bad the way that he has been conducting this border crisis. So many people criticize Trump, but I could tell you this border crisis is going to be the sole reason why Trump becomes president again. It's so bad. I'm about to show you some videos, and you're going to see just how bad it is. For right now, you have a major city in the United States, in Boston, that's littered with migrants. And I'm so happy that I don't live in a city where I have to see migrants all over again. I can tell you this, in my opinion, we are heading for a civil war because of the way that Joe Biden is handling this border crisis. In Texas, which I'm about to play the videos in just a minute. If you want to stick around, if not, you could get it on the repeat. Come back, get the repeat. The Supreme Court tells Governor Abbott that he can't block the U.S. government from opening up the border. So now, Governor Abbott in Texas, who I don't like, who I think in a way is a dictator, he has continuously blocked the U.S. government from opening up the border. So that's why I say, in my opinion, I think that this thing is heading to a civil war, right? Let's don't take too much of my word. Let's play these videos, man. All right, so the Supreme Court, this video,
It's been
court
a
is
back and
saying
forth
you
battle
have to
between
open
the
up the
state of
border. Let's play
Texas'
this.
aggressive initiatives to increase border security and the federal government trying to stop them. Monday, the Supreme Court ruled the federal government remains supreme.
The courts weren't willing to reverse 200 years of immigration policy on this issue.
In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court is temporarily allowing Border Patrol agents to cut and remove about 30 miles of razor wire installed by Texas law enforcement along the Rio Grande.
Now, did you hear that? 30 miles. Joe Biden is about to reverse. Those barbed wires should stay there. We have an open border. And I'm so sick and tired of these Democrats just letting everybody in this country. I have voted Democrat every year of my life, and I don't know if that's going to happen this year. The Democrats are a failed regime. It's bad. Let's carry on.
This is a federal power, and although the federal government is not getting a lot of gold stars on this issue, it is still their responsibility.
And this order sets a new standard as to what Texas can do regarding securing the border.
A question in every other case after this is going to be, is our situation like the fence? Is it more like the fence or less like the fence? And the more you can analogize it to a fence, the more likely it is that the reasoning behind this order is what will control that situation. And that's going to be the challenge for lawyers on both sides, is making things appear to be or not be like this particular fence.
Governor Greg Abbott and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton say they'll continue to fight in court to keep that razor wire up.
Ken Paxton says,
well, Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton are going to get their behind locked up because Biden, they don't, yes, they are the governing parties over Texas. But when a federal agent tells you to stand down, even the governor of that state has to stand down. And they're going to, and what Biden is going to do, he's going to prove to either Ken Paxton or Governor Abbott, even though I'm against it. I don't think that these people should be able to just walk in this country. It's a lot to unpack.
This is not over. And so he has to decide what is his next step and what is he able to do under these new constraints.
Meanwhile, Senator...
It's not new constraints. That man know that these are not new constraints. A state don't have more power than the federal government. They don't. They got to stand down. Even though I'm against it, you got to stand down.
Senators are working on a deal to secure the southern border. They say they're close, but aren't quite finished yet.
We're working hard on a bipartisan basis to try to come up with a piece of legislation that will actually help begin to solve this crisis at the border.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here. Actually, my department...
It's a lot to unpack. We are not done. We are not done. Let's play this video. You can't do this to no country on earth. As a matter of fact, Mexico only allow you to get to the border. Mexico is not going to let you stay in that country. They're not going to let you stay in that country. Okay, we not done, people. Let's go. Biden gave Texas 24 hours to comply with the U.S. Supreme Court ruling and transfer border patrol posts to the federal government. At the moment, the Texas National Guard is in control of the largest crossing point through which illegal migrants entered the United States. Local officials said the Biden administration committed high treason by failing to control the flow of migrants and neglect border security. The 25 states supporting Texas began sending reinforcements by air and land to protect the Texas border and prevent possible federal intervention. Now, here's the thing. We are heading to a civil war when you got 25 states telling the U.S. government you're wrong.
Park, the park that you were referring to, our viewers may recognize it. Our cameras have been here for about 2 years now, showing you the mass illegal immigration that happens right here in this park. You might recall even just a few weeks ago, there was that huge surge of migrants who crossed right here. Well, now under Governor Abbott's emergency declaration, the Texas National Guard has seized control of this park and some surrounding land along the river, put up fencing and razor wire, and kicked out federal Border Patrol agents, arguing that it's the Biden administration that has perpetuated illegal crossings, so Texas is going to control this land from here on out. A rather remarkable...
Well, as you can see, the Supreme Court told Texas they can't do that. But I understand what Governor Abbott is doing. This is so bad, it's terrible. Not only are they crossing the border, oh, I got one better than this. They
remarkable situation behind me right now.
Are in major airports. That's right, people.
Tonight, dozens of migrants are sheltering inside Boston's Logan Airport. Families, many with young kids, sleeping on blankets, pillows, and benches in the airport's Terminal E. As Massachusetts becomes the latest pain point in the nation's ongoing migrant crisis, struggling to find shelter for their growing migrant population, now more than 3,500 families.
Now, I'm proud of the way Massachusetts stepped up with compassion and solutions for the influx of migrants that's testing states all around this country.
Do you think that there's enough support in place to help newly arrived families kind of navigate the system as it exists?
There's a shortage in immigration legal services and a shortage in people who are able to help, and more funding is needed.
With 8 sanctuary cities across Massachusetts, it's put a strain on statewide resources. Governor Maura Healey calling on the federal government to step up.
While Massachusetts did not create this problem, we're going to continue to demand that Congress take action to fix the border, to get us funding.
Alongside 9 Democratic governors, she signed a letter to Congress demanding, quote, Washington to work together to solve what has become a humanitarian crisis. Adding, states and cities cannot indefinitely respond to the subsequent strain on state and local resources without congressional action. Chicago's O'Hare Airport facing a similar scene. Over 200 migrants still sleeping there as they await their housing placements. In Massachusetts, the existing shelter systems can house a maximum of 7,500 families, a limit they reached in November.
The resources that we have, we no longer have them, so it's been very close to impossible for us to continue to house them.
According to the governor's office, 600 families are on the wait list for shelter, instead staying at the airport, local churches, or overflow temporary shelters. Massachusetts launched a clinic in the fall to help thousands of migrants staying in the Commonwealth apply for work authorization in the United States.
If people are working, we're going to have people exiting from shelter that much quicker.
The latest effort to ease the stress on what's become a persistent issue.
Okay, Maura Barrett joins us now live in studio. I want to go back to those families in Boston. Do we know how they're doing?
I don't know if they train their voice to do that, to put the compassion in this voice. Did they go to the bathroom to do that? I don't know. I just want to just point that out. This sounds so phony. Man, you want to get up and scream, Biden, you are doing a terrible job. That's what you want to say, Tom. But let's carry on.
Tonight?
Well, Tom, it's our understanding that until they can get into those emergency assistance shelters, they'll continue to sleep there, and there's that massive wait list. Now, I've reported on the migrant issue in Chicago, but the thing that's unique about Boston and Massachusetts specifically is that they were already facing this massive housing crisis that came before the migrant crisis. So that's just an additive issue. And it's such a big deal that the governor is asking to dip into their surplus funds, using $700 million of it to help with the shelter systems.
Yeah, it's just snowballing from there. Okay, Maura, we thank you for that.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is a 19-second video showing another of what's going on. And my question is, you can't go to Africa. You can't go to Venezuela. You can't go to none of these countries as a U.S. citizen and get housing. I hate that tone. I don't know what that is. That's stupid. But you just can't go there. And what's going on is America is turning a blind eye to people in the United States that needs help. You got people, moms with families is getting kicked out, but you bringing all of these people that's not U.S. citizens that didn't go through the proper channels, and they're getting all of this help. You're going to tap into a surplus for other people, but you won't tap into a surplus for your people. Let's carry on.
More from Governor Healey about this a little later this week, but the cost of emergency shelters is becoming a budget buster for the state. It is driven by a surge in migrant families. The governor is now cutting spending several programs. Boston, a sanctuary city, is in a difficult position. Where is this going? The state says this is not sustainable in the long term.
This is an issue that I hear from every mayor I talk to across the country is a tremendous stress. We know that nationally, people need services, need supports, and we have a system where folks are falling through the cracks because the bureaucracy is taking so long.
How much stress is it in Boston?
Some of the interventions that the governor and our teams have been working on together have been working. We've had several very successful work authorization clinics to help people apply for their authorizations faster and then be able to get to work. But this is a larger challenge around housing, where we started. Because housing is so expensive to begin with, when we have new families arriving who need services, it all continues to pile on, and so we have to do more to make sure our school systems are welcoming and have multilingual services and supports, but also on the housing front to make sure we're doing everything we can to build more housing.
Next topic I wanted to talk to you about was Harvard. You have 2 degrees from Harvard. You are the mayor of the largest city in New England. You are the mayor of one of the largest cities in the United States. Your name has come up in conversation about who the next president of the alma mater might be. What's your response to that?
Is that what the question is? I thought we were going somewhere else with that question.
Okay,
I have absolutely no plans to leave this amazing job that I have. This is a very important decision, though, that the university is going to make in a time of tremendous stress and challenge for academia overall. There are many, many ways in which the conversations nationally are, about who belongs and what the role of affirmative action is, and diversity and equity and inclusion is being directed at partners in higher education. And so, we know that Massachusetts and Boston is home to the best of the best. It's where the world looks to understand what it means to lead, to teach, to educate, and they have a big task ahead of them, and we'll continue to try to support wherever we can.
What do you think about what happened to Claudine Gay?
I think it is, I'm very saddened. I think it was a very quick and rapid series of missteps and mistakes that she took accountability for that got wrapped into a much larger conversation about issues that were beyond what she could control and beyond what you normally think of as within the purview of a university. And so there are decision points all across the country as we head into this next year and this next election cycle about how we interact with each other, how we come together, and universities are definitely in the crosshairs.
Was she wronged, Claudine Gay, in your opinion? Wronged?
I mean, she has made her decision at this point, and she has spoken publicly about the statements that she wishes had gone differently. I do believe, though, that there was very much a targeted effort here because of who she was, the institution she represented, and a moment where there are people trying to dismantle the progress to include more people and to include all of us in higher education, in leadership. This was very much connected to the same source of trying to dismantle DEI and affirmative action and reshape who has access and who belongs.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause that there. This has nothing to do with the crisis that we're discussing. In my opinion, the country is dealing with a huge crisis that is not going anywhere. It's not like you're gonna close your eyes and it disappears. The Biden administration is doing a terrible job at it. Under Trump, they did not pull this stuff. No, I don't believe in putting people in cages, but nor do I think about stealing your way into another people's country. I don't believe in that neither. And when you come to this country, you don't pledge allegiance here. You send all your money back home. You got to help family back in your other country. You're not strengthening the economy to that magnitude. You're sending your money back to Africa, Venezuela, wherever else. That's your prerogative, but I'm just saying your allegiance is not to America, but you want to steal your way here. But nevertheless, this is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Please like, comment, subscribe, as we'll be coming to you with more videos in the future. And once again, we will see you in the next video.